Welcome to another awesome episode of Youth Connect. I'm Aiden,
Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jeffrey.
and welcome to our Youth Connect. Hi, guys. Happy Youth Connect. I hope you're doing something fun today because it's another awesome Friday, which means that there's one more day left until the weekend. I'm so excited, and everyone here are so excited to see you all come in today and connect with us. And for those who don't know, Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that is more than just sharing stories. We are working at creating a platform of inclusion and acceptance, one episode at a time. On top of that, we are all broadcasters and we are advocates for all abilities. And we want to be including opportunities for acting, directing, writing, chefs, speakers, artists, and musicians. You know what they say, you name it, and we want to do it. I know that Youth Connect is a show that you are going to absolutely love. But if you guys know Youth Connect, we always have to start off with some gaming news. All right, time to bring you some gaming news. Now, gaming news consists of usually three things. It could be a game that is coming out, a game that has released recently, or an old classic. And today is a game that is causing a lot of controversy. Personally, I am shocked or even mortified by hearing these results. But today's game of the week is going to be Mario and Luigi Brothership. So, what is going on with this game? It has been several years since the last installment of Mario and Luigi RPG series. And when I checked the reviews on my favorite game that was coming up, I learned that IGN gave it a 5 out of 10. Now, let me remind you guys, IGN has been falling off as of recently, giving reviews and giving really shoddy reviews here and there, like giving a Forza game that's released 5 years in a row 10 out of 10 for 5 years. And they give games that actually have a lot of life put into them, like Mario and Luigi Brothership, only giving it a 5 out of 10. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been reading personal reviews. Some people love it. Some people say that the game is hand holding. But the thing is that you don't need to have that hand holding enabled. You can just not have it enabled and make it fun. It is very customizable. But for those who don't know, what is Mario and Luigi Brothership? So basically, you'll be setting sail on an island hopping adventure starring Mario and Luigi, and the brothers return for a brand new adventure on the high seas. A mysterious power has fractured the world of Concordia into many scattered islands, and it's up to Mario and Luigi to reconnect them. You'll be venturing out on Ship Shape Island, part ship, part island, and launch out of its cannon to visit, explore, and quest your way through many islands that range from tropical rainforests to bustling cities. You'll meet new characters along the way, like Connie and Snoutlet, which is definitely not a pig, and encounter familiar faces from the Mushroom Kingdom, like Peach or Bowser, who may help or hinder you on your journey. And you make choices about the order you visit your islands in. You don't have to follow a step by step way, but choose the islands you want to visit. And interestingly enough, you can do many different abilities with bro moves, like turning into a ball or a UFO, or even throwing fire and ice balls to melt or freeze something in your way. But more importantly, if you ever get stuck on something and you just can't quite figure it out, don't worry. Discover the power of Luigi's inventive mind with Luigi Logic. I'm going to be honest with you. The people that are hating are haters, and they'll always be haters. But the fact that there's something called Luigi Logic, which specifically are the wacky ideas that the bros came up with, is amazing because it just gives Luigi so much life. And from what I heard, it's amazing. If you don't want the hand holding, disable the hand holding. They're badges. You only need to enable them for them to work. Just don't enable them, and then the game becomes harder. It's very, very ridiculous. I think this game is going to look fantastic. I'm going to be buying it later down the road, and I am excited for it. It looks like a lot of fun. Anyways, though, next up is going to be Kevin, and Kevin's going to bring us some all important news, but more importantly, that interesting fact that's going to be shared.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connect News. I'm your host, Kevin Aruja. Let's get right into the headlines. Group was frustrated over Danford Kingston project delays that could bring major bike lane. Canada coach Jesse Marsh adds Doro, Gazer, and guest coaches for Toronto camp. Toronto has a plan to incentivize the construction of 20,000 new rental homes. And Lakers LeBron James and Anthony Davis were happy that Vince Carter has been honored by Toronto Raptors. Organizers with a community group in Toronto's East End are concerned of potentially a big project with bike lanes and streetscapes upgrades. It could be collecting dust, and it's not clear if the holdup may be connected to the Ford government's proposed restrictions on municipalities. The concerns from the group Denver Kingston for All came after the Tory government tabled a bill that would require municipalities to get permission to install a bike lane if it removes a lane of vehicle traffic. The 10-kilometer stretch of roadway in question stretches from the East York's edge into Scarborough along Danforth and Kingston roads. A part of Toronto the group argues needs to be more safer and more enjoyable. The City of Toronto has identified a project area named Danforth Avenue and Kingston Road from Victoria Park Avenue to Scarborough Gulf Road as a critical transportation route where bike lanes could be installed and other streetscape enhancements could be done. The project outlines road resurfacing plans along a big section of Kingston Road, creating what it says is a once in a 25-year opportunity to make changes. A 5-year safety review of the corridor found there were 1,756 collisions between 2017 and 2021, resulting in hundreds of injuries, 10 of which were serious and cost 5 unalived. Danforth Kingston for All said there is space to create complete streets, meaning a space for cyclists, pedestrians, and vehicles on the corridor. But after the first phase of consultation in June, they said that they aren't hearing back from the city about next step and don't know why. It's unclear if the Ford's government plans surrounding bike lanes are having an impact on this project. A spokesperson for the Minister of Transportation tells CTV News Toronto anything that removes a lane of traffic will be reviewed. Denver Kingston for All said most of the routes has 3 lanes of traffic in each direction can go ahead without approval because of the traffic lanes can be narrowed. That said, the stretch of Denver East and Victoria Park only has 2 lanes of traffic in both directions. Online, the city says Phase 2 consultations are expected this fall. The project is in its preliminary stages and still needs to go before City Council. Canada coach Jesse Marsh has added the Canada Soccer Hall of Famer Dwayne De Rosario and Halifax Wanderers coach Patrice Gezer to his coaching staff ahead of a November's international window. Marsh is currently putting 19 domestic-based players through the paces at the camp in Toronto, heading a naming up roster for the 2-legged CONCACAF Nations League quarterfinal series against number 136 Suriname during the November 11th and 19th FIFA window. The Canadian men, currently ranked 35th in the world, opened the series November 15th in Paramaribo before hosting the return leg November 19th at Toronto's BMO field. Del Rosario won 81 caps for Canada, scoring 22 goals and adding 13 assists. He added 108 more goals during the Stories MLS career that saw him win the MLS Cup 4 times. He was named MLS MVP, MLS Cup MVP, and Canadian Player of the Year. Gazer is coming off this season second at Halifax helm. Before joining the Wanderers, Gazer's previous coaching roles in the Toronto area saw him work with the likes of current Canadian internationals Alistair Johnston, now with the Scotland's Celtic, Kamal Miller, who was from Portland Timbers, Jonathan Osorio, which is from Toronto FC, and Dane Sinclair from Minnesota United. Marsh has regularly added guest coaches during his training camp since taking over the Canadian men in May. The York United FC assistant coach Mauro Eustaquio, older brother of Canada midfielder Stefan Estaquio, joined the staff of for the September window. Previously guest coaches including former Canada internationals Paul Stotillery and Martin Nash. Nash is a former York United head coach, while Stalteri serves as an assistant coach with both Toronto FC and York. Canada, Canada Soccer said Del Rosario and Gazer will be part of a Toronto pre-camp with another guest coach, yet to be announcing joining the team for the Suriname games. Marsh is slated to announce his Suriname roster on Friday. Toronto City staff have an ambitious new plan to build 20,000 rental homes, but the initiative hinges on significant financial support from other levels of government. Mayor Olivia Chow's executive committee is set to consider the plan at a meeting this week, though it will still need to go to City Council as a whole at a later date. If approved, the plan would create a new incentive program to help spur on the construction of purpose-built rentals. Staff said that it was a part of a tiered quick start approach. The city would immediately release a rapid call for applications to build approximately 7,000 new rental homes, including 1,000 affordable units. The city would then agree to defer development charges for the rental homes indefinitely at a cost of approximately $210 million. The city would also waive property taxes from the affordable units for a period of 40 years, an additional cost of approximately $136 million. Staff are proposing that the city would incentivize the construction of additional units if the province agrees to provide $1 billion in financial support. That money would be then used to fully exempt eligible units for property taxes for 40 years and waive development charges indefinitely. The City of Toronto already waives 50% of property tax for all new purpose-built rentals, but the provincial money would help reimburse the city for lost revenue related to the full property tax exemption, something that carries an estimated cost of more than $115,000 per unit. As part of a wider plan, the city would also ask the federal government to immediately allocate a $7.3 billion portfolio of low-cost financing support to help support the construction of the new units. And now moving forward to the in-sports news, LeBron James and his Los Angeles Lakers had to pay their respects to Vince Carter too. James and teammate Anthony Davis both praised Vince Carter after their 131 to 125th win over the Raptors on Friday. Carter will become the first player in Raptors history to have his jersey retired in a pre-game ceremony on Saturday. Carter's iconic number 15 will be raced to the Raptors of Scotiabank Arena on Saturday ahead of Toronto's game with the Sacramento Kings. It will hang beside the Raptors' 2019 NBA Championship banner. Carter was drafted 5th overall by the Golden State Warriors in the 1998 NBA draft, but Toronto immediately traded Anton Jamison, the 4th overall pick, for him. He played for the Raptors for 5 full seasons before being traded to the New Jersey Nets in the midst of his 6th. He went on to play for the Orlando Magic, Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks, Memphis Grizzlies, Sacramento Kings, and Atlanta Hawks over 22 NBA seasons. Davis, who started playing in the NBA 14 years into Carter's career, said that even then that a Hall of Famer was a challenge to play against. The Lakers will still be in Toronto on Saturday, as their next game in Detroit against the Pistons on Monday. Redick played for the Duke Blue Devils in university and joked that he was a fan of Carter's even though he went into the rival University of North Carolina. Ultimately, they played together in Orlando for the 2009-10 season as part of a 2010-11 campaign before Carter was traded to Phoenix. In today's weather forecast, we got mainly cloudy this afternoon. The temperature is now 13 degrees, and tomorrow we will get mainly sunny. The temperature will be 7 degrees. And now moving forward for an interesting fact, we're going to talk about the important day, which is called Remembrance Day. Remembrance Day is a memorial day observed in Commonwealth member states since the end of the First World War to honor armed forces members who have unalived in the line of duty. The day is also marked by war remembrance in several other non-Commonwealth countries. In most countries, Remembrance Day is observed on 11 November to recall the end of the First World War hostilities. So I have six interesting facts about Remembrance Day. The first fact is Remembrance Day was first observed in 1919. Throughout the British Commonwealth, it was originally called Armistice Day to commemorate armistice agreement that ended the First World War on Monday, November 11th, 1918 at 11 a.m. on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And the second fact is every year on November 11th, Canadians pause in a moment of silence to honor and remember the men and women who have served and continue to serve Canada during time of war, conflict, and peace. We remember the more than 2,300 Canadians who have served throughout our nation's history and the more than 118,000 who made the ultimate sacrifice. The third fact is the poppy is the symbol of Remembrance Day. Replica poppies are sold by the Royal Canadian Legion to provide assistance to veterans. And the fourth fact is Remembrance Day is a federal statutory holiday in Canada. It is also a statutory holiday in the three territories and in six provinces. The fifth fact is the national ceremony is held at the National War Memorial in Ottawa. The Governor General of Canada presides over the ceremony. It is also attended by the Prime Minister, other government officials, representatives of veterans organizations, diplomatic representative, other dignitaries, veterans, as well as the general public. And the last fact, the United States used to commemorate Armistice Day on November 11th. However, in 1954, they changed the name to Veterans Day. Then we come to the end of my segment. Tune in for next week's news, weather, and your own interesting fact. This is Kevin Aruja, and it's back to you, Aiden.
You know what, guys? We should always remember how important it is to remember where the poppies come from. They're a symbol of peace, and they've been used ever since World War I ended. And I think it's a good flower because these flowers are an important reminder of our past and to not redo what we did in those days past. To remember the fallen soldiers, to remember our great veterans and all of the work that they did to protect and serve. I think it's a beautiful message. Guys, did you guys know that poppies are actually technically a really good flower to survive in all climates of weather? Poppies actually originally hailed from the Arctic Circle. So it started from the Arctic Circle, then came all the way over across overseas, and it's everywhere now. There are so many variations of poppies, but the poppy plant can technically live in all climates around the world. How amazing is that? Have you, Jeff, do you usually wear a poppy during Veterans Day?
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I do. Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming, Kevin, you did as well.
We will try to wear poppies, but
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You can also celebrate it if you don't like the sharpness of those poppies, is by visiting Flanders Fields if you're nearby, obviously, and also wearing red. Wearing red
Yeah,
or
wearing
talking
red.
about it or making a post about it, as long as you're recognizing the importance of Veterans Day, you are contributing. It's honestly amazing. Thank you so much, Kevin. Appreciate it a lot. It's important. And for the weather, it's gonna get chilly, guys. Get ready, and then it's gonna go hot, and then it's gonna go cold, and then hot, and then cold, and then hot and cold, and hot and cold, and maybe even hot, cold, and then hot. Saw a lot of weather changes out recently. Okay, time to get into our second gaming news. So, I think this is absolutely funny. So I will say one word because technically this is what the name is. So actually, technically I won't say it, but there is a subreddit. There is a place that people have been talking about for years and years. It is called Shiz you can install Doom on. Technically it's the S word, but we don't want to say that. But technically that's the technical name for it. Once again, somebody has taken a device that was never intended to play Doom and with some tinkerings got it to do exactly that. This time around, someone has got ID Software's classic and forever popular FPS game running on a Nintendo Alarmo, providing us with possibly one of the worst ways to play the shooter. From what I've seen, it's absolutely horrid, and it really is. Now, if you don't know, over the last 25 years or so, getting Doom to run on weird devices that were never intended to play games has become a popular hobby amongst modders and fans of the classic 90s shooter. From TVs, ATMs, pregnancy tests, and other crazy inventions, all these wacky ports to hundreds of weird devices come courtesy of id Software's releasing Doom source code in 1997, just 4 years after the game's explosive debut. Ever since, fans have spent the past 20 plus years creating source ports of the shooter that both extend the game in countless ways and let you play it on practically anything. And that includes a Nintendo alarm clock, apparently. So it actually happened only on November the 2nd that a hacker named Gary Oder Nix, I'm probably butchering the name here, but uploaded a video of himself playing Doom on Nintendo's Alarmo. It's definitely not the best way to play the classic shooter, but it runs really well considering the device is being held on a fancy alarm clock never intended to run games. This thing, it was running so well. It was absolutely amazing. So, so interestingly enough, this Gary Oder guy has figured out a way to get images of cats on the Alarmo, and the modder has also shared steps of how to run customized code via USB on a Nintendo's Alarmo. This is how he was able to get a version of Chocolate Doom, a stripped down source port of the classic FPS running on the Alarmo. He said that it was absolutely amazing and it was so much fun. But now we can add the Alarmo alarm clock to the ever-growing shiz you can install, shiz you can install Doom on, or things you can install Doom on, as some people call it. And I definitely will say this: this is not the last time I will tell you about a port. The next time we get some strange, wacky device, be ready because you might see Doom on the next console that comes out. Anyways, though, I thought it was absolutely funny, a little bit hilarious. And next up, actually, I got to keep it moving because next we have Logan. He sent us a video, but I can't wait to see what cooking knowledge he has to share with us today.
Hello, Youth Connect. I am Logan, and for today's lesson, I will be talking all about maple syrup. So, maple syrup. We all love it. It's a staple of Canada and also Vermont, but that's beside the point. We all like to put it on our pancakes, our waffles, our French toast. But how is it made? What goes into the process of turning maple tree sap into syrup? And well, today I will be talking all about the process. So, maple syrup first starts with the collection of maple sap. Typically, sugar maple trees are the ones that are tapped for their sap, but you can use basically any maple tree. And so, in order to collect the sap from the maple tree of question, they are tapped into. This involves basically drilling a hole into the trunk of the maple tree so that the sap can slowly flow out. From there, a special tap would be inserted into the hole, and that will give the sap a place for it to flow through. And typically, these taps also have these little grooves on it that you can hang a bucket over so that you can collect the sap. So you just let the tree drip for a couple of hours until you collect a hearty amount of sap. From there, so basically, this is what it would look like when it's full. And as you can see, the maple sap, it's not quite syrup yet. It looks almost like water, and that's basically what it is. It's just sugar water that is stored inside the tree for sustenance. And if you tried to taste this as it is right now, it would probably just taste like water, but with maybe like a hint of sweetness. It's still a long ways before being made into syrup. So from there, we need to turn this maple sap into a luscious amber maple syrup. And in order to do that, you have to extract the pure maple sugar out of the sap by boiling out all of the water. This process takes a very long time, but eventually, once the liquid starts to turn an amber color, that's how you know that enough water has evaporated out, that most of it is now pure maple sugar and it can brown in the pan and become maple syrup. One thing to note though, is that the yield from sap to syrup is very low actually. It is a ratio of 40 to 1, which basically means that boiling 40 gallons of maple sap will yield only 1 gallon of maple syrup. There's a lot of water that has to be boiled out, and the sugar in comparison is very low. So yeah, I would really recommend trying to tap for your own maple syrup because it's a very long process for a very low yield, really. That being said, if you want to actually go ahead and try tapping your own trees to make your own syrup, here are a few little key pieces of advice for tapping maple trees. Now, when you're drilling into the tree to tap it, you should drill at like an upward angle so that the sap can flow down, let gravity help assist, and this will help speed up the sap collection process. Also, if you are going to drill, I would recommend probably using a hand drill of sorts, because mechanical drill bits usually are coated in motor oil, and you wouldn't really want that getting into your syrup now, would you? Now, the best time to tap maple trees is during the late winter to early spring. That is when the sap flow is most optimal. You'll also want to make sure that your tree is both alive. If it's dead, it won't produce any sap, and it's also big enough to tap. It should be at least 10 inches in diameter. Now, you can actually put multiple taps on the same maple tree, but if you put too many on it, you risk over tapping and killing the tree. The good rule to follow is that for every 10 inches of diameter that the tree is, you can add 1 maple tap to it. That just about does it for the advice on tapping trees. But one thing that on tapping maple trees, but one thing that you should note is that you can tap more trees than just maple trees, and you can actually get their own special syrup out of it. Stuff like birch trees or walnut trees, for example, can be tapped and they have their own syrup, which has its own distinct flavor from maple trees. Now, you can tap just about any type of hardwood tree, but the types of trees that you should avoid, though, there are pine trees or any trees which has a milky color to its sap. That is usually an indicator that the sap is poisonous or caustic and probably shouldn't be boiled down into maple syrup. Now, some people will actually tap oak trees and make syrup out of it. However, oak contains a large amount of tannins, which gives the syrup a very bitter flavor. And it can also be too dangerous to drink too much of it at once. People have gotten sick drinking oak syrup. But one thing some sellers do is they will mix the oak syrup with some other different syrups like pine or birch syrup, and that will make it much more safe to drink. But even so, I wouldn't exactly recommend tapping an oak tree. Anyway, that just about does it for my little lesson on how maple syrup is tapped and collected. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for listening. And back to you, Ada.
What the heck? A little bit of audio errors here and there, guys. I apologize. I will say I definitely now do not want to do my own maple syrup, especially if 40 gallons only makes 1 gallon of delicious maple syrup. I would only be able to, from the one tree, to just make, I don't know, maybe just like a cup or maybe even just like a pint. of maple syrup, and honestly, I just don't think it's gonna be worth it. Jeff, would you try kind of like tapping your own maple tree to get maple syrup from it?
Yeah, it would. I think it'd be very interesting to
You know,
try.
you know what? It's a if you want to try it, go for it. What about you, Kevin? Would you?
Oh,
Kevin, would you tap a maple tree to get maple syrup?
I would try.
You know what? You guys are brave. I don't think I would be. I wouldn't want to do it, especially for how long and tedious the process is. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And thank you so much to Logan. I always love that cooking knowledge. And you know what? Maple syrup was a good topic because November's happening, which means that we're slowly getting into the tapping season. So get ready. All right. If it's everybody's favorite time, it's time for your community news. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. It has been an incredible week for our super ability crew. Here's a quick recap of all the fun, learning, and connection we've shared. So on Monday, we explored science with many cool experiments. Like, for example, how many plants and trees do you think you would need if there was no oxygen to survive? A really, really good question. How many trees would you need? Type in the comments down below. How many trees do you think you would need? On Tuesday, we learned a fun little cooking class with Sweet Puneet about wrap making. It was absolutely delicious. Art club was on Wednesday with me, and we focused on the color wheel, but more importantly, those mood boards. Very, 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 very important. On Thursday, we practiced our music with our music club. And on Friday, as per usual, we did our quick general knowledge from all the stuff we learned. Thursday night was also our Super Ability Crew Music Club, which honestly kind of made people so excited with their funga alafia, spreading joy and rhythm. And just to add, our ukulele group also performed with our very own Jeffrey Ankerman as lead. Amazing work. I will also say, because this is very important, this is coming up, guys, very, very important. On the 7th, or I'm pretty sure, no, it is on the 16th, Saturday, November 16th, coming up in about 7 days. In 7 days. It's coming out in 7 days, guys. On November the 16th is going to be the Incarnation Church's Christmas market / tea room. Very, very important. So also want to add on to it, Roxanne Tull will be an artist in our group that will be at the Arts and Crafts Market in Toronto this weekend. Just so you guys know. Or next weekend, sorry. Next weekend will be there's so many events. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of events. So if you guys need to get your Christmas shopping done, get ready for all of these events. Next week is going to be Roxanne's Arts and Crafts Market in Toronto at the Ron Chesval's United Church. On November the 16th is the Incarnation Church's Christmas Market and Tea Room. And also important, on the 16th, Sammy and Puneet will be there. And they're going to be two amazing humans that are offering beautiful beads and sharing seeds that were naturally grown. Honestly, it's going to be great. I think it's a lot of fun. Get ready, do some fun stuff. Keep these events that are happening in our community on your calendar so that you can show up. And now, finally, we can get into our cherry on top of our amazing News Connect episode. We always have to have Jeffrey with some live music.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hope you're ready to rock out with me, Jeffrey. And I've got a classic song for you, really rocking. Hope you're ready to take a long walk with this song. This is 500 Miles by the Proclaimers. When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the one who wakes up without you. When I go out, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, Yes, I know I'm gonna be the one who gets stuck without you. And if I ever, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's ever in with you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles and walked through at your door. And I'm working. Yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working out for you. When the money comes from for the work can do, I'll pass almost every penny on to you. When I come on, yes, I know I'm gonna be the one who comes right on to you. And if I grow, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's growing over you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles and walked at your door. When I'm lonely, yes, I know I'm gonna be the one who's lonely without you. When I'm dreaming, yes, I know I'm gonna dream about the times when I'm with you. When I come home, yes, I know I'm gonna be the one who's coming over you. If I go up, yes, I know I'm gonna be the one who's coming over you. Gonna be the one who's coming over you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles and walked at your door. And I will walk 500 miles and I will walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles and walked at your door. And I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the one who walked 1,000 miles and walked at your door. Thank you everybody so much. This is Jeffrey, your live musician. See you all next week. Bye, everyone. Back to you, Aiden.
Da-da-da, da-da-da. It's such a good song, Jeff. I love that tinge. Oh, that tinge you had. Just gives it that depth that it really needed. Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. You're getting better every single time. Made me want to dance. Anyways, though, I hope that you guys liked this episode of Youth Connect. If you did like Youth Connect, can you like, comment, and subscribe?
And don't forget to
Don't
click the
forget to click the
notification bell.
notification bell.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. That's right, Kevin. I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Remember, do something fun, do something with family, and we will see you all next time.
Next week.
Bye, guys.